Hello and welcome. This is Ruth and I have some beautiful dies and stencils and stamps to share with you. These are 6 different clubs from Spellbinders September club release. So I'm going to show you through these very quickly and then I'm going to get on to making some lovely cards with them. But I got so excited when I saw these, I started to die cut right away and I've actually already gone ahead and got lots of things ready. So where will we start? I didn't know where to start because it's so beautiful, but the whole collection of all the clubs is called Autumn Greetings. And I love autumn because of all those beautiful colours and all of the rest of it. Anyhow, this is the embossing folder of the month and you can see it there. And that is called Autumn Chevron. Look at the detail in that. Now, I'm thinking already, there's no way that that's just going to be used for autumn. That could be used for everything and anything that you can think of. It's such a beautiful design and it could be used for all sorts of things. You could chop it up, you could ink over it, but look at the beautiful pattern on it and look at the other side as well. So beautiful. So that is the Autumn Chevron and that is September embossing folder of the month. Then we've got the 3D embossing folder. Look at that beauty. Now I've already embossed this piece of card here and this one is called Pumpkin Patch. Oh, wouldn't that just be absolutely beautiful if it was inked over the top? Or look at that side, you could even ink over that and that would pick up the sort of outlines of that as well. I kind of think I should show you this, but I've got loads of die cutting on top of it. But just have a peep at that. Look at what it looks like on some pumpkin coloured card as well. So beautiful. Look, I was busy, wasn't I? So that's that one, 3D embossing folder of the month. I'm going to use those in some cards in this video. Then we have got the stamp and coordinating die club. So let's have a look here. And this one has this beautiful pumpkin patch on the corner, a corner one, and then beautiful acorns and oak leaves there. And then it says, Happy Thanksgiving, you are such a blessing, hello, and a harvest of love, autumn wishes, and to you and yours. So again, I love this because it's not just fall or autumn themed, because you could definitely use to you and yours. You could use the pumpkins, but especially these here. These little things would be beautiful on all sorts of cards. And you're such a blessing. Well, isn't that such a lovely card to send to anyone? A beautiful sentiment. And of course, these are the coordinating stamps, the coordinating dies for the stamps. So that is wonderful if you're able to stamp that and then cut it out. You could leave that on the card and add the other elements, but these fit around some of these sentiments as well. So there you are. That's the stamp and coordinating die club. Then we have this lovely stencil set. I'll open it up. So these are called Colourful Pumpkins, and there you have it. All of the stencils that you need, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to create a beautiful scene, and I'll definitely be using that in this video as well. These are so easy to use because you can see the little corner pieces on there and they're very easy to line up. I will be using that. Colourful Pumpkins, the stencil of the month. Now, I didn't know where to start with either of these because they're so cute. And again, lots of things that are absolutely perfect for using on other cards as well as scrapbooks, but they don't have to be all just autumn themed. Now this one is the large die of the month, and this is called Picture Perfect Autumn. It's hard to get your tongue around. And we've got this beautiful big sunflower. There's more on the back here. These dies make sort of hillocks and mounds and all the rest of it. A beautiful old barn, the roof and the front of that, and then we've got elements for the trees. Of course, you're going to be able to build up scenes that are not just to be used for autumn. You can add the foliage onto the tree in greens or whatever for any time of the year. Here and here, there's a sunflower, and I think this is a little handle that goes on here on this many thanks. And you can see the many thanks actually cuts in to your little die as well there. Okay, let's turn it over. This is the center of the sunflower. This is really dinky, but I'm going to show you that whenever I'm using the die set because it's in among all of that and it's beautiful. Leaves, pumpkins, more mounds, and another little fence and a cloud as well. So think of all the other things that you could do with that as well. Absolutely beautiful. and I'm going to start off with that one. Now this is the small die club of the month, and this one is called the Autumn Scarecrow. Now my immediate reaction was, oh come on, get that made up, cut all those pieces out, and then let's get it onto one of these beautiful embossed backgrounds. Then I had a little look and I thought, oh, I think we could do something else with that. That doesn't necessarily just have to be for autumn, so we can use the scarecrow for something else as well. Look at these. Look at that. I've cut those out in blue and white, and wouldn't that be lovely on a little baby boy card? It's going to be absolutely gorgeous on this scarecrow, but that's just an extra use for it as well. So we've got the pumpkin and the little face and the crow and the signs and a little bat, sunflower again here and here, and little hands and a lovely little face for the scarecrow, the hair, all of the rest of it, and I'm going to be making that up as well. But there's lots of things that you could use here. If you wanted a bigger pumpkin and all these different pieces of foliage, you could mix and match with the large die of the month, and you could use these with all your embossing folders. Now there's other clubs as well. There are 4 more. I've got 6 here, but I'm going to concentrate on these 6 because these are my favourites, and I hope you enjoy what I do with them. Now if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you're new to my channel and you enjoy this kind of thing, don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll see loads of this. I have so many boxes of dies here that I'm working my way through. They are absolutely stunning, and I want to share them with you, and I'd love you to join me on my journey as well. My affiliate links to everything I use will be down below in the description of the video. If any of you want to use those, feel free. It won't cost you any extra, but I do get a little commission from that as well. And I should also say, subscribing doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free too. So on to the die cutting, and we'll start with our first card. I thought it'd be really beautiful to create a little scene on a kind of stepper card. So I've got a top folding 6x6 card here, so it's roughly 15 centimeters square as well. And then this piece is, I've cut this in centimeters, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same size as this. It does need to be the exact same size as the width of the card, but I have made this one the same width as the card this way, and then 10 centimeters this way, and I have scored this at 1 centimeter here, and that's a little valley fold, and a mountain fold here from 4.5 centimeters in here. So the full thing is 10 centimeters. These 2 pieces are 4.5 centimeters each, and this one is 1 centimeter. And I am just going to add some glue right inside there and attach that right onto the front of the card. So this is the actual card front, and then I've got this little section here, and I've cut a piece of blue card that I'm going to put directly on here. I'm just going to glue that on, and then I'm going to have a kind of from light green to darker and then darker again here, and I've already got this, but I'm going to show you how I did that in a moment or two. And then I've got this section here, so this is the mid green and then the darker green, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those on here, and then we'll build up the little scene from there. That's what my little stepper looks like now, and then I'm going to add some hills on here. So the lighter green in the back, and then this one in front, and I've just left this intact to show you how I've made that. So I've cut a piece of card, and it measures the exact same width as this, so that's 6 inches, and I've used this die, and I suppose you could put this at whatever angle you want and then die cut it. And I've made a little hill here, and I'm just going to go ahead, because it doesn't come out to the sides here, and put the scissors in and just follow the direct line of the little hill there, and in this one just do the same there. So that gives me this beautiful finished shape. And then I've used this one, which wasn't just as sloped, is that the word? And I have cut this one as well. I wanted to keep this one a little bit flatter at the top, because that's where my little barn is going to go. Now this one will be here, see that there, and this one then can go in just down in behind that, so that we've got a little hill sitting up at the top. So I can go ahead and glue those. Whenever I glue this one on, I'm actually going to put the glue down to about here, just in case I may not want to add some trees in, and I'll be able to slide some of them down in the back there. So once I get this one into the position of where I exactly want it, I'm going to glue that first, and then this one goes on right over that. I wasn't going to use this at all. In fact, I don't think I will, but I just want to show you that whenever you cut the piece off here, it does leave you with an extra piece that you can just turn around, and then you're going to get a different shape down at the bottom, and you can add that other piece on there too if you want. But I'm going to go ahead now and add the little barn on. It is really, really beautiful. So I've cut out this background piece with the sort of a dark red, and there it is. And then the front outline with this, and I'll show you the dies for those in just a second. This is the little roof, and then we've got the door and window. Now, I live in Northern Ireland. I'm not familiar with this kind of barn at all, so I hope I'm doing this right. If not, I'm sure you'll tell me down in the comments below. But this is what I think is the door and window little die, and then we've got the barn sort of outline here, and I've cut that in a lighter red, and then I've cut this little roof from craft card, and I think I'll just assemble it off the card first of all. So I'm just going to put this on here, and then this goes on here, the little roof on here. I've done a little bit of shading on that, not too much, and then the door here and the other piece on there. I attached the little barn with 3D foam pads, so you can see how it sort of sits out there, and it gives a lovely bit of dimension. And then I've taken these two fence dies. I've actually cut those out in craft card as well, but I think the white stands out more against the green. It's really beautiful. But I have cut off just a tiny piece here and here so that they fit in here, because I really want to get this end piece, because I like that. I want to get that in here, and I'm going to glue those directly onto the card there. And then I'm going to start just assembling lots and lots of these other pieces on here, the tree and some foliage and whatnot. I've got my clouds on here, and I think it always looks better if you sort of have one off the card a bit, and you can cut that off, and at two different levels. It looks a bit more natural. I know we're not really going for total natural look here, but it does look a bit better just as a cloud. And you can trim that off, and then if you wanted, you could use the other side of that on the other side here, just a little bit, maybe even down there. I don't want too many clouds in my sky, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Anyhow, I've now got my little trees, and I cut the base off this one, and I'm going to go ahead, add some glue onto this one, and just attach it down in the back of the little hill behind the house here, the little barn. So that's going just down in there, and then I've got another one ready to go on here as well. So I have cut out some glitter card and some of the foliage from some of the greenery from plain card as well, and I'm just going to show you how I've added some shading onto that. I've got a little dauber here, and for the plain one, the ordinary card, I'm just going to do a little bit of light shading. Now, green would be beautiful on this if it wasn't sort of fall or autumn time. So green leaves and whatnot on the tree would be beautiful, different shades of green, little pieces to build it up. So I've got that, and then I've also cut a little piece of glitter card, and just to get the edging on that, I'm going to go directly from the ink pad. That's the best way to get some ink attached. It wouldn't really come on as well if you added that one with a little sponge. So you'll see there that I've now got my two pieces that I can add on, and I've gone ahead and I've already got a tree like this. I'll add these ones onto this tree, but this one is going to go just about here. Now it's time to add these beautiful little pumpkins, and this is a really dinky little idea. So this die cuts out the three pumpkins here, and then this piece cuts out this area here, just like that. Now all you need to do is put glue along here and here, and you can attach these little pumpkins. So we'll put this one on here, and the little stalk then will sit up at the top. The pumpkin will be nicely attached, and then you can add the one in the center as well. It's an ingenious little idea. That goes on there. And then this one, which is a little bit wider and more squat, shall we say. I'm not too sure how you would describe that, but that one goes on there. And then you've got 3 of them attached. But of course, if you only wanted them separately, you could do that as well. You just need to attach this brown piece on, and then you could snip them off individually. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some of these, maybe around the tree or sitting in the field somewhere on my card, and I'll add some individual ones as well. That looks really, really beautiful, but I thought in the foreground of it here, I would build up some sunflowers on here, and then I'll put my little many thanks in the center here. So the many thanks was cut out with both the banner die and this one together. And that's really, really handy, because it means if you want to use a different sentiment, you could stamp one out and use that little banner die on it. And then I used this little die, and I hope that's what it's for. I have put it on the back here, and that's going to go right on the base of my card there. But I've cut the sunflower petals out, and then this is the center where the seeds would be. So the petals and the background are from this, and then this is from here, and then you'll get 2 leaves with this one as well. And I've also used this for my little sun. I'm going to pop the sun down in the back of the mountain there, and then I'm going to build these up. So I just want to show you how I've attached the little sunflower together. I have a few of them already ready here, and I'm going to add a few of them just all around that one area. So this piece just gets glued directly into the center here, just like that. And then I've got some ink here and a little dauber, and I'm just going to ink the outside edges of these petals just to give a little bit of dimension. And then I'm just going to build it up. So you can watch at the end, and you'll see where I've added all of these. I've layered up some sunflowers here, so some of these are just glued directly on, and others, as you can see there, are added on with 3D foam pads, so there's a little bit of dimension. I had this a little bit lower, but I thought I'd move it up so that I could fit another one of the flowers in there as well. And then you can probably notice, as well as die cutting and inking the leaves, I've just turned the edges up ever so slightly just to give a little bit of dimension on that front panel, and I've added a couple in there as well. And I'm going to tuck one in here. So I've already flicked the leaf up at the top, and I don't want it just to be symmetrical with that, so I'm going to pop it in there and hold it down and flick that edge up there. So there's my little finished card. Now you'll see that better in a photograph at the end, but it's rather nice. I love it. Now for a little change from the die cutting, I'm going to go on to the Stamp and Coordinating Die Club of the Month, and I've stamped out this really, really beautiful image. I'm going to colour this with alcohol markers. I love to just layer up the colours of the alcohol markers here, so I've picked out 2, sometimes I use 3, and even if you only just want to use one, you can add several layers of that one colour and just lay them on top of each other to add some depth and dimension. So this time I'm actually using Nouveau alcohol markers from Tonic, and I've got Fruit Punch and Spiced Orange, and I'm going to do these 2 pumpkins, the pumpkin and this gourd here, and then I'm going to add some greens and whatnot into the leaves. And again, just doing the same thing. If I use a lighter colour and then a darker colour at the end, I'll blend it all together with the lighter colour. coloured that one all in, and now I've gone on to this one, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to use this one or not, but I want to colour it anyhow. So I've stamped that out and I've gone ahead with this bit, and then now I'm just going to add some more detail onto the leaf. So we'll go for another green again here. I've already got some red just on the tips there, and I'm going over that with the green because I want it a little bit more muted, and then I'll add some brown into the centre of that. Whenever you're attaching the die on top of this, just make sure that you take a little extra time to be very careful that you've got even spacing the whole way around, and add the tape on a couple of places really firmly. And if it's a bigger one, add several bits of tape, because it would be an awful shame if you spent all that time colouring your image in and then it moved, the die moved whenever it was in the die cutting machine, just because you hadn't taped it down properly. I've just set these on top of the craft card just to show you how well they really cut out with those dies. I printed out or stamped out the You're Such a Blessing as well, and cut that with a little coordinating die from the set. And I love that craft card with it, so I'm going to put that behind this beautiful pumpkin patch embossing folder. And just before I put this on, I am going to just take a brush and give a light, just a very light bit of shading around the outside edge. I've layered that beautiful embossing folder onto some craft card and right onto a 5x7 white card blank, and I've put 3D foam pads on the back of both of my die cuts, and I wasn't sure that I was going to use them both, but I actually really like the fact that that one's up there, down there, and this one can go up here, and they kind of frame the little sentiment. So just to keep this a little bit different, I'm putting these two on 3D foam pads, and then I'll just glue this one directly onto the card. Next, I'm moving on to the small die of the month, and I had loads of fun cutting all this out, so I just want to show you how to assemble it, and then we'll make a card up with it as well. So this is the little stand that the scarecrow goes on, and I've cut that out here and here, and this one really just adds a bit of texture, so I'm just going to glue that directly down that little bottom part of the stand, just right on there. And then you can see that I've already cut out all the pieces, and I've done a lot of inking as well, just to give some shading around the edges, but you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to, but I thought it was a nice little touch. So I've cut out these little dungarees in denim blue, and I've shaded around those as well. I've got the little shirt cut in some gingham paper, and then there's a little die here that has all the little pieces of straw that would be used for the hands and the feet. So I've put them, you can see where I've attached them in at the back there, and I've done exactly the same thing on here, and now all I need to do is attach the dungarees onto the shirt. So you just line up the tops of the straps with the shoulders, and you're good to go. Now that will actually go on here, and I suppose I could do that at the moment, and then that would sort of stabilize it and hold everything together while I add the rest of it on. So there we are. You just need to line this part up with here, and the idea obviously with the scarecrow is that the arms, the pole goes through the arms there as well and out through the sleeves. So we've got that bit, and then I've cut out the face, and I've just added a little bit of orange card in behind there for the nose. Of course the nose could have been any colour I suppose, and I'm going to put that, oh no I'm not, I've also cut out a little oval. Now it's this little die here. I've cut that out twice in black because one of them you can just fit in right behind the pumpkin face there, and it covers the mouth, nose and eyes, but I've also cut it out here because I thought I would like little black eyes on this one as well, so it goes in there, but I didn't want the black nose, so that's why I put some orange already in there, and that is going to go just on here. He's getting cuter by the minute. There he is. Now I've cut out little, what I would call straw hair, and I've inked that as well, and it's really easy to know where to put that because you can see there's a little guideline, a little sort of hairline, so to speak, and you just need to line that up with there. I have then cut out the hat, and I've inked that as well, and I'm going to just place the hat on here, and I want to leave some of his hair visible, so I'll probably put the hat, yeah, just about there. That looks better. Now we've got this little band that goes across the top of the hat, just the sort of hat band that goes, well, about there probably, and then there's a little die that cuts out a little buckle, so that's this one. There's also another little thing on it there which I'm not sure, I haven't used it yet, but I've got the buckle here, and the buckle is going to go just over this part of the hat here. Now that's him almost finished. We could add the little pocket, I've got it ready as well, so I'll add that onto the front of his jeans, and that I've cut that out in red just to match the band on his hat and the shirt. And then I've got a little bandana here, and I've got that cut out in red as well, and that's going to go on there. He actually does really need that bandana because it really finishes everything off. He's lovely. Now, as I said, we've got the black piece that goes on the back here on the pumpkin, so I'm just going to put glue all around here, add that on, and that covers all of that. You can turn it over and just make sure you've got it in the right place, and that, whoops, I haven't. There it is. Now we've all sorts of other bits and pieces, so they're a little flower here, little sunflower, and then this is the stem for it. So all you need to do is add glue onto this part and pop the flower on there. You can add a little centre on that if you want. We've also got a little apple, we've got other little leaves, and then we've got this pumpkin and this one, and that would be the top of that one. So we've got little sort of vines and things here that will go attached to these. You can put them just wherever you like. And then there's a little stump. I've cut that out in green. I suppose that should really be in brown. I'm going to add it on anyway. That will go on here, just at the top of the little pumpkin, and then the vine and the leaves and whatnot can go on around that. I'm going to leave the rest of that for the moment or two until I get a card ready, and then I'll set this on the card and we'll start assembling everything else after that. I've taken an A2 card and I've put some of the denim blue card that matches the little jeans here, and then the beautiful chevron embossing folder. It's really lovely, and that is going on here. So I'm going to put this on down here, and then I'll start assembling all these lovely little bits and pieces around the bottom. So I had the pumpkin on here with the little face on it, but it's not a Halloween card, so I covered that with the leaves, but I just wanted to show you how to do that as well with the little black piece in at the back. And then I've got the crow, and I'm not so sure that I actually want him on there either, but I want to show you how to make him. So you'll cut out the crow here, and then there's a little beak and little eyes here. Now I haven't put the eyes on, but this is the little beak part, and you glue it in behind like that, and then you can cut out either this piece in white and this one in black, or as I would do, probably put a little black gem or something onto there, and then that could go on here. There's also these little arrows, and these have little dies to go in those as well, and they say pumpkin patch, and you could certainly put that on too if you had a bigger card. But I think that's rather cute, just the way it is. In fact, the only thing that I think I might do is add a few little dots into the centres of the flowers, and I might just do that with an ordinary little fine liner pen. Now I'm moving on to the stencil of the month club, and there are 5 different stencils in this, and I had a little look and there's no numbers. And the reason why is because it doesn't actually matter. You can do them in whatever order, because actually each one is has a different thing on it, and it will go into the different spaces here, and it'll all line up at the end. So I'm going ahead with, I'm going to use actually quite small daubers here just to be sure that I get the detail that I want. And I'm just going to add different shadings to each layer as I go along. Maybe build up a little bit of shading in each one of these as well by keeping this one in and then adding something deeper into the base and the top of it as well. I actually couldn't believe how easy that stencil was to use. Anyhow, I have trimmed it down and backed it with some craft card and put it onto an A6 card. And then this is the little mini thanks that came from the very first set that I used from the clubs, and that's the large die set. So I was thinking you could look at that, you could add paste in there instead of the ink. You could use paste or any kind of different marker, all sorts of inks, glittery kind of inks and things like that, and that would totally change the look of that. It doesn't have to just have a sentiment in the centre either. You could use that in more subtle colours with some of these sunflowers or something else in on the background of it as well, and set something on the foreground like maybe the little scarecrow or something really cute like that. Even that would be beautiful, but only if this was a lot more subtle. Anyhow, that's my look at the September clubs. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I really thoroughly enjoyed making those. I think it's just the time of year I love as well, and the dies are so beautiful, and these embossing folders. I could have gone on forever. In fact, I actually have another idea for using some of these with a previous set. Hopefully I'll get time to do that. If I do, if you're subscribed and you've hit the notification bell, you'll see that when it comes along. I will leave a little explanation of the clubs and how they work and whatnot down below in the description of the video if you want to have a little look at that as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I have enjoyed making them, because that was great fun. You can let me know in the comments down below which one is your favourite. I kind of like this one, but every time I look I see something different in some of the others. I really love stamping and colouring, but the embossing folder sets that off so much, and he's so cute. Oh, anyway, you tell me what you like and tell me what you might like to do with these as well if you have other ideas for them. I think maybe I've added a little bit of shading just with a grey marker. After I finished that one, I added a little bit of grey marker in below the clouds just to make that stand out a little bit more as well. So there'll be lots and lots of photographs of these at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that as well. And in the meantime, happy crafting. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.